Hey, hey, hey.
Hey. Welcome to the show. That went pretty smoothly.
It
First
did.
first last week. That was good. How you doing, Boo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm
Good,
doing good.
good.
I'm sitting up mighty high. We redid the this is actually going to be the kids' room when we get them. So
Okay.
I set everything up in here, and I had brought a stool. I didn't sit on it first, so I'm kind of like high. Everything's down low, but it works. I don't know why this is kind of faded, but okay, we're working. You look good.
Yeah,
How you
thank
doing?
you. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm
That's
trying.
good.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to do more because I was told like I need to do more to my face. And and then Mary Kay this month the new fall collection of lip glosses came out. So 14 new shades.
Oh,
On the chocolate gloss, the chocolate.
get close. Let me see. Ooh,
Yes.
that's pretty. That's pretty. Okay.
Oh
All right.
yeah.
How's it going? Are you liking that?
What, Mary Kay?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, yes, I do like Mary Kay. I really do. So I yeah, it goes along the lines of what I'm already doing. So why not just add that into it? And then I get to make my face up with all great products. So of course, yeah. And
Absolutely.
yeah. So
How's
yeah.
your week going so far? I know it just started. How was your weekend? What did you do?
Actually, so the weekend was kind of quiet. I worked out, but it was pretty much quiet. Most of my days are quiet because I'm still not going out. I'm still not, even though the
You
movies, which I
still
was,
in quarantine?
yeah, the movies are back open and things like that, but we haven't gone in any restaurants and sat down and like none of those things. So
Yeah, because the movie's open. A
yeah,
girl when I was at the military job, she was like, "We're all going to the movies now." I was like, "The movies?" She said, "Yeah," but the next day she said that she really felt safe. The concession stands they weren't open, but she said
okay.
everybody was like spaced out. I was like, I don't know if I've been bold the whole quarantine season, but I don't know if I'm ready to go to the movies. I just
Yeah,
feel like
I'm
everything
not
is
sure.
closed for me.
I'm not sure about that either. So yeah, it's not. And although I want to go to a movie, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that they are making it convenient where you can still order things on TV.
I mean,
So
that's still not like the movie experience.
no, it's not. It's not. But I bought a projector. So
Okay.
yeah. So if I really want to go all out and make it seem like I'm at the movie, I could.
Now, when you say a projector, are you talking about like the thing that comes down from the wall?
Yeah. Well, I have the tool, not necessarily the screen, because we just put it on the wall. But I have
Uh-huh.
a projector.
Oh, okay. So y'all have like a movie night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. I can't. I don't know if I'm ready to do that, but I'll just skip the movies until I feel confident enough to go in the movie theaters. But yeah, everybody, please like and share. Tell us where you are coming from.
Yes.
Looks like our Monday dish guest is here. I have a
Yes.
lot of stories I can tell you about this young lady, Miss Caprice Anthony Cox. I think that's how she introduced herself to me. Her whole name, Caprice Anthony Cox. So we're going to please welcome. I think I've known her for probably over 15 years. I'm thinking
Okay. All right.
close to 15, if not that. So please welcome to the show my friend and former client before she got the locks that I told her that she could never grow, and she's kind of like shown me. Miss Caprice Anthony Cox. Hey, Caprice.
Welcome.
Hi,
Oh
and
my
I didn't
goodness.
introduce myself to you as Caprice Anthony Cox. It was Caprice Lordine Anthony Cox, aka Chocolate Diva.
Okay.
Exactly. Show us your locks again because I did not think that you were going to go through growing your locks. We used to do the little short, spiky cuts. And how long have you been growing them?
10 years.
10
Very
years.
good.
Yeah. I saw them like, let me see you. And that's probably why I didn't recognize you because I looked right at you. but I had my mask on. Everybody had masks on. I didn't recognize where we were at the home store.
Yes.
And, yeah. And I looked at her, but I didn't recognize her. She said something. But when I heard her voice, I knew exactly who it was. But then her locks were so long and pretty. I was like, oh my God. She did grow them. Yeah.
Do you have sister locks, or you just have?
People think I have sister locks because they're thin, but I hear they gave me a name. They call them micro locks.
Okay.
My location calls them micro locks.
Okay.
Everybody asked, did I have sister locks?
Okay. Good. So Caprice, I know how fabulous you are, the chocolate diva. So, but tell everybody what you're doing. What are you doing now? I know you have your company. What is Phoenix Rise? What is it? Phoenix
Arise.
Yes. Tell everybody about how fabulous you are. What do you do?
What I was doing is I have a company called Phoenix Arise, where I was working with women who were coming out of incarceration and women who had incarcerated mindsets. Haven't talked to you about it in a while. I had to take a little break. Had to do some self-care because I had to put my father home. So I had to do some self-care and put some things on hold.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Phoenix Arise. Where did you get that from? Last week we had Rhea come in when she was a Rhea Hope. And that's a great name. And now Phoenix Arise. How did you get that?
Phoenix Arise came from the fact, well, it came from the Phoenix bird. The Phoenix bird was a bird that was left for dead, and it rose up out of the ashes to become something that was powerful and empowering. So how it came to me was the name Phoenix Arise was I saw so many women who felt that they had been buried by their circumstances, whether abuse or low self-esteem, but different things that kept them buried. And I wanted to show them that the things that buried them didn't necessarily have to keep them buried. Right. That they can come up out of that to be something powerful. And that's where it came from.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, okay, so for Monday Dish, of course, this is like our icebreaker area. And we're going to talk about, okay, I was looking through this, and I didn't really see, I thought it was the female's problem, but I'm going to read to you this situation. Okay, so a family friend has been legally separated from his wife for about 15 to 20 years. They live in separate areas of the U.S. She lives in a house that he bought and paid for in the Western U.S. where he grew up. He lives in one of his properties on the East Coast because he owns multiple properties. He visits his hometown once or twice yearly. Now, many women view him as a successful single man and date and enter relationships with him because he lives alone in a big, beautiful house. Women assume that he's single. He attends church alone every Sunday, drives luxury cars alone, earns a good salary. If he dates a woman and she asks him specifically about his marital status, he is honest. However, because he lives alone, doesn't wear a ring, and doesn't mention a wife, the majority of women he has dated all assume he was single. They never ask any questions in the early months of dating, and he doesn't tell them he is legally married until the woman asks. Most don't even find out until they begin to question where the relationship is headed. In general, the women are shocked. So who's in fault in this scenario? The man for not divulging his marital status, or for the women for going along and not even asking? I think if you don't ask, I ain't gonna divulge any unnecessary information. Well, what do you think, Capri? Is he at fault? Who's at fault?
I think he's definitely at fault because he's living alone. So if I was to meet a man who's living alone, he didn't have a ring on, and for all purposes, he looks like he's single. I never seen him with a female. I would assume that he is single. So I guess I would ask if he was married because I would have assumed that he was single.
Well, you know what happens when you assume.
Right, but if you're conducting yourself as if you are single, how else would it be perceived? Like I agree with Caprice. I wouldn't. That's not just a question. But I guess nowadays maybe you need to ask questions.
And you need to ask a lot of questions.
Right. And I just would never and I guess maybe, are you married? Because, to be honest, I guess because people, if people are on green cards and things like that, sometimes the wife can't come over, but she lives somewhere, but he, he's married. But if you have been legally separated from this person for 15 to 20 years, are you really married?
And he hasn't given any to me, and he hasn't shown any reason to make me think that he was married. Or did he? Did I miss something?
No.
I mean, he just didn't volunteer. You didn't ask, but the person didn't ask.
You didn't see the family pictures on the, table. So how would you know?
It was in there. I don't know. We don't know. But
right.
In today's time, do you think a person? I mean, because we all know, a lot of things go nowadays. Mm-hmm. So you gotta ask. Women need to ask. Have you been with the man? You can't just assume things like you can assume back in the day.
He could have been entangled.
Right.
But I would like to think that one question being, "Are you married?" should not be one that you would have to ask. I think that would be one that you would volunteer. Okay, I'm married. Oh, well, where's your ring at? Okay, well, we don't wear rings, or I don't wear a ring, or we don't, whatever the case may be. I think that if you are going to carry on like that and you're going to entertain women or anybody, period, that person may be like, okay, well, this person is not married. We're and feelings start to get involved. And I think that I'm going to be in a relationship with this person. And then bam, oh, I'm married. So, and then like, how long have y'all been carrying on? What if you getting into 6 to 7 months? Like, at what point are you divulging that you're married?
Okay, that's true. But I was trying to be on the guy's side just for you. Okay, all right. This is the final topic. Okay, this is an old story, and Shanika, we talked about it last week. But Dwayne Wade's old wife, ex-wife, she was given $5 million in the divorce settlement back years ago. But she thought it was unfair. In the end, I think she got $5 million, which equals out to, I think she gets $25,000 a month. Plus, she got the Chicago house. She got 4 cars, security. But evidently, it wasn't enough. So she's like done these stunts when she was like, "I'm Dwayne Wade, ex-wife, and he left me homeless, blah 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 blah." But Dwayne Wade, he's worth like $170 million. She got $5 million. He got custody of the kids because I think it was a safety issue. But my question is when you reach a certain point in life where you're financially responsible, financially secure, whatever, you don't have to be rich, but where to your point where you can hold your own, do you feel obligated, or should you feel obligated to help family and friends who are constantly coming at you asking for money?
No, I'm sorry. Pass. No.
And if you say no, how do you deal with the guilt from when they ask? You have the money, but how do you deal with saying no? Any guilt? Is there guilt associated or not?
Well, I mean, if I may just interject for a second. First of all, I think that once I give, like, if you ask me once, like, okay, I'll give once. But if it's a consistent thing and you're constantly asking, now you got to order, like, at that point. Because if I didn't have it, or if I wasn't good with my money, whatever the case may be, where would you get it from? How would you get it? You would find another way. And just because I do have it, then maybe you should be asking me more, or maybe you should sit down and let me give you some financial advice where you can also get on the same path, but you constantly coming to me asking me for things. But I think that family, when you're speaking of family members, when you're speaking of someone who has and now he has the children, and I think that really, like, now in present day, it's still a big debacle between them all. But I think that if you started with nothing, and she came up with you, and y'all came up together, or she came up with you, and I still think that she should be getting some type of stipend. I just feel like
$25,000 a month.
$25,000 a month still, or was it to
well, that was, I don't know, when was this? I mean, it hasn't reached $5 million yet, because I think this was just like in 2018, maybe 17.
Oh, okay.
So she's still getting that, but evidently it's not enough because he's worth $170 million. She wants some more.
Well, yeah. See now that, but I think that if you one, you don't have the children. He does, and my thing is if you're getting $25,000 a month, like I don't even need $25,000 a month. Like maybe like 10, maybe like 5. Like no, I'm just saying like. $25,000 is a great deal of money. Like my thing is sometimes people live beyond their means and live like, okay, I'm still not comfortable and I need more. It's like, no, you can live somewhere and be somewhere comfortable for $25,000. That's
well, I guess because she was his wife. I mean, she's used to a grand lifestyle. So I think the rule is you're supposed to keep them accustomed to the lifestyle that they're accustomed to or something like that. That's what they go after.
Mm-hmm. And then when they see you with your new boo or your new wife, and you see how much they have, of course you want more.
Yeah,
I'm sure you're gonna want more.
Well, see that, and then that but that's a whole nother conversation because you know, Will and I, we had that conversation. Are you hurt or are you jealous at that point?
Or a little bit of both.
Right.
I'll say a little bit of both. Yes. Well, thank you, Caprice, for coming on today.
Thank you.
Monday Dish. We appreciate it both.
Thank you.
Keep on those locks. I can't wait to see you again, so I can get in there and make sure you know.
They're real.
Yeah. All right. Hope you have a good rest of your week, and talk to you soon.
I thank you.
All right.
Bye. Nice having you. All right, we do have a couple of guests. We have Kiara and LaRon. Thanks for joining us, guys. Make sure you all continue to share.
Yeah, like and share.
Yes.
I really don't like how I'm really disappearing into. I'm just like, and my shirt is not faded black. I don't know what's going on. I gotta work on those lights. But you know what? Our next guest actually is already in the studio, Mr. Brett Allen.
Hey, Brett.
Yeah, Brett's gonna talk to us. He is actually a podcaster. He has a company, so he's gonna talk to us about a couple of things. Stephanie actually said that he's open to talk about anything. So we're gonna talk about one of your topics, and then we're gonna bring Brett on the air. What do you want to talk about first?
So I think that my one topic is actually let's talk about this because I want to save the other one.
Okay.
This was a question that we had. If you were in a relationship that was toxic / abusive, how do you know you are healed before starting a new relationship?
If you were in a relationship that was toxic.
Yes.
Okay.
And are abusive, however, how do you know when you are really ready to move on and that you're healed? You know, to be honest, I don't think you really ever heal. I think that there's a point where you come to, it's like, okay, I can move on. I can be open to love. I can be open to certain things, but I don't necessarily know that you completely heal.
I think I can attest personally to the point when you're ready to move on. When you get to a point when to discuss that person or to even be around the person, it doesn't hurt anymore, and you don't have those thoughts where I can't stand you. I wish you was dead, or I want to hit you. And especially when you have an opportunity to do something bad, to get back at them, and you don't do it. I think that's one sign for me personally. When it was ready for, I was good. I was ready to move on. Up until then, if you're having those feelings, it's a lot of inner work that you need to do. You need to work on those, whatever hurt feelings that you have, seek therapy, which I did. Hey, things like that. And then, once it doesn't hurt anymore, you're good. Okay. But like you said, there's always something that can bring up those feelings. So you never really get over it, but you at least get to a point where it's safe enough for you to invite other people into your life. And it's not.
Right. Because I do think that there's sometimes things that may trigger that particular thing, and then that you kind of revert back to having those feelings. But make sure you all make comments, tell us your thoughts about it, and let us know how you feel about it. How do you know to move on to another relationship if you're coming out of a toxic or abusive relationship? So just let us know, guys. Thanks for joining, Rosalind.
Yes, make sure you like and share. We're gonna go ahead and bring our featured guest onto the show, Mr. Brett Allen. He is the host of the Open Mic Podcast, and he's the owner of Cheap Seat Entertainment. I like the name of that. So we're going to actually bring him on the show so that he can go ahead and tell us about all of those wonderful things Please help me welcome to the show, Mr. Brett Allen.
Hey, welcome, Brett.
Where's Brett?
Hey, thanks for having me.
How
Hey,
you doing?
Good. I've been enjoying your guys' conversation. I'm glad I don't have a lot of money or I'd be in trouble.
Exactly. Because one thing about it is they will come after it. They will come after it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Well, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
No problem. No problem. So tell us, how did you get first started as being a podcaster? What made you interested in doing that?
For me, I think it was just the ability to talk to people, I think is what interested me the most.
Mhm.
But for me, you know, my show started out as a journey podcast about going through divorce and being a single parent. So that's really how it started. And then there was a little bit of a transition, and I had the opportunity to interview a couple different people, a movie critic, a director. And after that, I just got bit by the bug and started interviewing people after that. And that's really how it transformed for me. So it's just been a labor of love of being able to talk to people and to communicate, and perhaps with the type of guests that I talk to, getting a little bit of a different story out of them versus what they might normally talk about. And I think to me, that's where the fun part comes in podcasting, is being able to have those types of conversations, you know?
Mhm. So what is your podcast all about then?
So right now, it's the Open Mic Podcast with Brett Allen, and kind of the tagline is where no topic is off limits. And I interview celebrities, influencers, authors, and musicians on occasion. And so I've had the privilege to talk to a lot of very cool people. And yeah, oftentimes they come on and they might be promoting a product or a TV show. And so we talk about that. If they're known for being a part of like a markable series or a film, we'll obviously talk about that, you know, towards the end. Recently, I interviewed comedian and actor Tommy Davidson. So we kind of talked about what was going on with him during quarantine and things and what he's been up to. And then we talked about other creative projects he's involved with. And then at the end, of course, we talked about In Living Color. So you had to talk about that and sort of how that was lightning in a bottle. So in a nutshell, when people listen, that's what they can expect. You know, we'll talk about a lot of different things, and I really try and pull out different stories about them, or again, maybe things that they might not normally talk about in an interview or a normal conversation.
okay, cool. Okay, so I'm actually going to put you in your own hot seat where you said that there is no topic off limits.
Oh boy.
And ask you the question that we were talking about, which is, how do you know? Because you did say that you were divorced. How do you know that you're ready to move on to another relationship?
Well, I think Will said it best, and at least that was the case for me, is if you can get to a spot where you don't find yourself bitter or angry or having this negative opinion about that person anymore and trying to and put all of your problems on them along with whatever issues that they
Uh-oh.
Okay, I think you're frozen.
the rest of your life. You're raising a kid together. So
Yeah.
she's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. And we have to somehow figure out a way to make this relationship work and be able to communicate, love, and do what's best for that child. Right. And so it no longer becomes about you. And so for me, it was just, I mean, we went from one extreme to where we couldn't be together to we're celebrating birthdays together. I'm staying on their property in an in-law house, and I'm able to interact with them quite well. And my son is able to see that mom and dad get along together, and we don't have to make it this big, messy or scary conversation. So I think it's different for everybody, but for me, and like Will said, and you said, Shanika, it's just kind of like, you just kind of know. Now, that's one piece of it. The other piece is whether you're able to date somebody or not. That's a whole nother conversation, you know, because I think that for me, I had to work on intimacy issues, communication issues, trust issues. And until you can conquer those things, at least to the point where you can bring somebody in and at least be able to give them this basic level of trust,
Yeah.
I think it can be very dangerous. And so I'm still a work in progress. I've dated, obviously, since we've not been together for 7+ years, but it hasn't been easy. And I often say I don't know that I would ever get married again because I don't think it's for everybody.
Right.
And so I don't necessarily know that it's for me. I never say never, but at least knowing me, and I'm 46, my kid is 6. Most women my age, typically have had kids and they're grown up, or that's one, at least for me. I'm not stereotyping, that's me. The other piece is they're younger, they've never had kids, and they don't know if they want to, if at all. So dating is a little bit trickier.
Okay. All right. I can respect that. Thank you for that.
Sure, of course.
So let's get back to the Open Mic podcast. Tell me about who has been your most interesting guest?
Oh, geez. I think, it's hard to limit just one particular person.
Mhm.
I will say this, like when you're interviewing celebrities, you kind of have this idea or a person of what they're like based on what you see from a public, whether it's on a television show or whatever, right? Like
Right.
we'll talk about Tommy. Excuse me. Like in my head, I'm expecting, someone who's funny all the time to be funny in a normal conversation.
Right.
Impressions, excuse me, I have a horrible cough, whatever the case might be.
Right.
Oh, he's second here.
I'm not sure. It's probably
To pinpoint one would be very challenging, because everybody's different. Everybody got different personalities, and so to try and say they're just all different. Like I'll say this: everybody I've talked to has not been what I expected in a positive or maybe a negative way.
Right.
They're different, because they're human beings like you and I. So you just don't know what you're going to get in a conversation. But I mean, Tommy's very interesting. I would say I talked to the comedian Lunel. She's very interesting.
Yes.
She's very just honest and raw about everything. So I think for talking to Lunel was like what you see is what you get. Like what you see on social media or on television or on a stage, it's the same conversation. Like there's no persona and then there's no Lunel. Like what you might see on her Instagram lives, it's the same kind of deal.
Yeah.
I think it's very honest, very just straightforward. No with her about anything. Like if you say something, you're gonna
You look good.
Thank you.
Okay. Normally it just snaps out of it.
Right. Maybe. So
Okay, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you kind of froze a little bit. So can you tell us just a little bit about your business, Cheap Seat Entertainment?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So basically what I do is there's 3 pieces to the business. Part of it is one is public relations. So I help podcasters and other people, whether you're an author or a musician, starting out to get publicity, right? Whether it be on a show. That's the first piece. The second piece is helping get guests on podcasts. So having been a publicist and a radio DJ and producer for a long time,
Okay. Sneaky, you look.
and help them train new artists to how to be able to interview correctly, have decorum, answer questions, and engage. So there's a lot of
Must be his reception.
Yeah, I apologize. All the wildfires here, I'm plugged into a hard line, but it's been crazy. So California is on fire right now, unfortunately. But I hopefully you got that answer.
We got the gist of it. We got the gist of it.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So I just want to ask you this question. We've had this issue, you know, we get guests, like you were saying earlier, you get people and you kind of have an idea maybe because our intern or our assistant, she'll send us whatever the potential guest, I guess their pitch or whatever, they'll send it to us. And we have an idea of how they're going to be, you know, when we interview them. How do you deal with guests who are just absolutely not doing it? They're, you know, the interview is going downhill fast.
You just have to do the best you can to stay engaged and typically make sure that you cover what you promise you're going to cover and then get out quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't set time limits for my interviews. If I have a comedian coming on, he's promoting a show or a special, that's the very first thing I'm going to talk about. And then, you know, try and ask open-ended questions as well versus like closed-ended questions, like instead of yes or no's, something that they can just give a quick answer to. I try and engage them. I try and be lighthearted and fun with them too, you know, like what have you been up to? What are you binge watching? Just trying to like catch them off guard a little bit. And people can't help but not want to talk about themselves. So if there's something about them that I can discover that they don't normally talk about, I will talk about that first. If they're like on a TV show from the 80s, like I was able to talk to Daphne Maxwell Reid, who was, you know, Aunt Vivian #2 on The Fresh Prince. We talked about her art. We talked about traveling. We talked about music. We talked about a lot of different things. And she's very, you know, she's media trained. She's been doing this for 30 years. And so you just try and get them to talk about themselves because people like it, right? So you just do that. And then if you feel it getting uncomfortable, make sure you've covered everything you can. And I always say, you know what? I know you're super busy and you have a lot going on today. So I really appreciate your time. If there's anything else that you want to cover, or can you let us any more of your time? And I thank you for being here. And then you're out. And that way it's not awkward.
Exactly. I think we've always dealt with it pretty good, Shanika.
We have. I think we
actually haven't had many. But, you know, we want to do, we try
to open it up, get through it, and, you know, make it seem like that it's not awkward, because that's the worst, when it really seems awkward.
Yeah, if it becomes awkward, that's a problem, because then they know that. And then if they're already uncomfortable, they're just going to be more uncomfortable, and that's not good for anybody.
No.
Exactly. Right. So we talked about the people that you have, Tommy Davidson, you talked to Luenell. Who's that person who you have not connected with yet? Who's that dream guest that you still want to be on the Open Mic podcast?
Oh, geez, man. You know, like the biggest person lately that I've been trying to get, and this, you know, I don't know if you ever watch True TV, the Impractical Jokers, you know, those guys. They're a group of comedians that do different things. They play jokes on people, and it's like a hidden camera show. I've been trying to get those guys forever. And I've lost track of how many times. And they're always like, we're busy, not right now. So those guys are dream guests. I had an interview scheduled with DL Hughley, and then he got sick.
Oh, yeah.
And so yeah. And then, you know, a lot of times it's a lot of yeses, and then you don't hear anything.
Right.
Are you frozen?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. It's going to come back up in just a second.
Okay. I wonder how close he is to the fires.
I know.
He might not ever come on.
Yeah.
It's fun no matter what.
Okay. So how do you go about booking your guests? Can you freeze again?
I'm missing my special ingredient this week.
Oh, okay. You need to make sure you stay on top of that.
Yeah.
Brett?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how do you go about booking your guests?
So I just reach out to their PR. There's a database that I use, and through a publicist or a manager 100% of the time.
Okay, awesome. Well, okay, so at this point, if someone wanted to or people wanted to contact you, can you put your contact information out there, please?
Yes, just best thing on social media, everything's under Brett's Open Mic, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can just send me an email, openmicguest@gmail.com or the openmicpodcast.show. I'd love to connect with you.
What platform?
Apologize for the internet stuff, but it's crazy over here. So thank you for having.
What platforms can we hear your podcast on? Okay.
Okay, can you say it again?
Yeah, just open the Open Mic Podcast.
Okay, I'm like holding on. I'm like, okay.
No, I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Yeah. I listened to a couple of them.
Okay.
Oh, you were over here that day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was Brett Allen from the Open Mic Podcast. Shanika, I'm looking at my reflection. Look at this. Oh, stomach going down.
I know.
This is not filter. This is no filter.
Well,
this is a waistline that is actually starting to show.
All that hard work is paying off. All those times when you're just like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
It's getting no smaller, but yeah. Yeah. Start with the weight. We'll do that first.
Yeah.
Okay. So whose turn is it?
It is yours.
Okay. Who do I want to talk about first? Do I want to be deep first? Yeah, I'm gonna be deep first. I'm gonna be deep. So
we're back in it. So make sure you all share.
Yeah, share. And this is when I want you guys to comment. Don't just sit by and listen to us. We want to hear you guys engage, comment. How you feel about it? So Lizzo, the girl who I'm absolutely in love with Lizzo now. So she had this interview. They showed it on TV where the lady was asking her about insecurities and about, I think it was Jillian Michaels, who was saying that she was unhealthy because she was fat or whatever.
Right.
In a recent interview, she said that she's learning to love the skin that she's in, and she's embracing what some see as her flaws. She said, I'm comfortable calling myself fat and joking around with my friends, calling myself a fat A. I had to learn to love all of me. I had to look my insecurities in the face, call them by name, and fall in love with each and every one of them. So I want to ask you, what insecurities do you feel you need to embrace in order to love all of you?
Wow. What insecurities do I have that I need to fall in love with in order to embrace all of me?
All of you. I'll start. At my age, I need to learn to embrace my age. Not enjoying it. I'm glad I'm still here, but I'm not enjoying it. Like every time I turn around, I'm the oldest person in the room.
But you know what? So, okay, so, they were having power outages, he said.
Okay.
You know what? Sometimes being the oldest person in the room, it's not always a bad thing, because I don't think it's always the bad thing, because first of all, you can get in tune with what some of the young people are talking about and going through and what they're actually thinking about. I think it's intriguing sometimes just to watch how young people interact, just to watch how they conduct themselves, just to watch the things that they are interested in. I see your face, but I'm just and and then sometimes you bring wisdom because they don't know everything. They don't know everything.
Still old, Shanika. Still old.
I think that that's a mindset. I think that
it is a mindset. It is.
It is because sometimes, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, I'm gonna share with you why, and y'all please chime in. Okay, so this young lady is I'm almost sure that she's the same age as I am, and she, like, when I see her, she dresses she dresses like a 46-year-old person.
Uh-huh.
And I have on like a mini skirt, my shirt's tied up in the front.
Uh-huh. You sassy with it.
I got a naturally curvy shirt on.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, okay. And I was like, when I looked, and I was like, okay, I'm 46, she's 46, but I don't want to be that 46.
Yeah. And that's what it is. That's what it is too. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I would much rather embrace my 46 and still dressing, not trying to be a teenager or not trying to be of young age, but I think that it's okay to still want to dress kind of urban. I don't know what you would call it, or a little bit more fashionable than just, like some nylon pants or whatever you call those, slacks. I want to put on some nice jeans that have holes in them and a nice shirt and things like that. So I think I really do think that it's a mentality, because I don't want to be the old 46. I'm not trying to walk around with a jogging suit on and some cornrows, you know. Now, like if that was the 46 that you were, I would be like, okay, well, like let it go. Yeah. But if you are in like, like you are, like, I think that you're when you dress, you dress, and it can still be a 46-year-old professional or a 46-year-old dapper, like either way to me. Yeah. So
I think because we were watching, I'm not gonna say the name of the show, but we were watching a competition show last night, a black competition show last night. Tuesday's Best. I'll just say that, something like that. And the winner, I thought the winner was much older than what she was, and she turned out to be like 5 years younger than me. And I was like, damn. And I just started to say, I hope that I don't look 49, because I'm 49. I'm like, I hope that I don't look 49, but then my spouse is 20 years younger than me.
Okay, well,
the last thing I want is to go in the restaurant and for to walk through people's mind that, oh, that's his sugar daddy.
Wait, okay, first of all, why is it that it's got to be that you look old? How maybe it's just that your significant other, your husband, just looks young. Why is it that you got to look old? Maybe he just looks.
That's the question. That's the concern. I don't want to. I can look in the mirror all day and tell myself a lot, but I'm just saying the other people. Because every time I turn around, like Brett, he just said he's 46. So again, I'm the oldest person in the room between y'all three.
Well, I mean, but you're not really it's the mindset. Because how old do you think Walter is?
Younger than me.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not?
No.
Oh, okay. For real? I thought I was older than Walter.
No, he just had a birthday. You said how old you say what you are?
I'm 49.
Yeah, no, he's older than you.
Oh, wow. Finally. Okay. Okay. Mr. Bell. I'll call him Mr. Bell. Let's see. Oh, he said hip hop 46. Oh, yeah, and Walter does look young. So that's what I thought. I assumed I was older than Walter.
Yeah, no. And I think it's, again, I think it's a mindset. I mean, obviously, there's some parts of your body that are going to, it's just wear and tear of the body. But I think that the mentality, the mentality of it is what makes you old. It's like, when you see women who are in their 60s and they're still doing Zumba, or they're still doing, dancing, and they still go out dancing, and they're doing salsa, and they're doing. So to me, it's a mentality, it's a mindset, and I don't want to be, and Asia keeps me young. I think that's that she keeps me young. And yeah, but I don't think you should. Because there's wisdom. Like whether you want to embrace it or not, it's wisdom in the room.
Yeah.
And you have a lot. You have a lot to share. You have a lot that you have gone through. Where sometimes people that are interviewing, like they're trying to get where you are. I tell you that all the time. You know. Oh, Walter said, "Remember when you assumed." Touche.
All right, you're right, Walter. Sir, you're right, sir.
So there's people who are trying to get and want to be in your company. They're trying to get where you are. Or it's like, well, how do I get? And the only way that I'm going to be able to get where he is to talk to him. So so sometimes it's okay. It's okay because when I'm in the room full of Asians, they want to talk to me. They're like, okay, so what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then it's like, okay, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. I think another thing is in not the Black culture, but in the gay culture, age is not embraced. So that is like you call the old head, and you call it's really negative towards aging in the community. So that you're right. There is a mindset that I need to shape. And I need to be just thankful number one that I'm here because there's a lot of people that came up with me that are not here.
Right. Right.
Whatever even took them out, and I'm still here. So you're right. Let's see. We're not old. Well, we just seasoned. That's right. I'm a little well seasoned, but yeah.
Yeah, we can all just be fresh off the farm. Like we got some of us gonna have to be a little seasoned. Okay, so
did you have another one, or did you want me to go? Did you have another one?
No, I have another one. I have a question actually.
Ooh.
Not to my question. All right. So this was this is something that I saw, and basically it's in reference to a couple, if you will, and I say couple, and they let me just read it to you. It's quite a bit, but I'm gonna try to like narrow it down. Okay, so the young lady sends her guy friend a message, and she's like, "Hey," she says, "Baby, you still up?" And he's like, "Yes, but I only have a few minutes. I have something to do tomorrow. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it later? No, I have something to do." And then she's like, "Okay, babe, I just wanted to talk to you about something that has been bothering me for some time now." And he was like, "Is it very important? Because you could save it for later. My eyes are closing." "No, we need to discuss it now." And it goes on, and she asked him, "Who am I to you?" He was like, "Funny, you're my girl. What do you call this relationship in definite terms?" He says, "You're my friend." This is
Your friend.
Friendship where we have sex. I cook for you. I come over. I do your laundry. I do anything I can for you. And I'm just a friend. He was like, "Can we skip this talking? I want to sleep, please." So right there, to me, the conversation would already been over. And then she says, "You need to confirm what I am to you. Don't tell me you've gone off. No, I'm here. I'm thinking of how I want to reply to you," he says. She's like, "It's simple. This relationship needs labels." He says, "I never really asked you to do all those things. I never asked you to cook, clean, help me with anything. You're just a friend at best." "What do you mean? I've been here giving you everything, my time, my body, all my efforts. I put everything into this, hoping that you would deem me worthy to call this a relationship. I've been in this for 6 months. Okay. Now, with that being said, do you think, and then the conversation goes on, and she's like, "I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're like she ended with saying like you're the devil," and he was like, "I never asked you to do all this stuff for me."
Exactly. She said that. She said, "I put everything."
Exactly.
Hoping that nobody asked you to do that.
Right. So my question is, number one, is anybody, who's at fault? Is she at fault? Is he at fault?
Nobody's at fault. It's just miscommunication.
You think it was miscommunication?
Just miscommunication. Yep. Everything she thought was wrong. She should have asked before she got in her feelings. She's in her feelings. She's what the young folk call in their feelings. She's in her feelings.
Okay.
What the young folk.
Right.
I don't want to start saying stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. So she's in her feelings.
Right.
Why can I not? Okay. When I need things, it never comes up. All right. So you think that she's in her feelings about it? Well, this is my thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I think that women, or maybe I shouldn't say women, people have a tendency to do too much. And I think that you need to gauge it. Like, you need to gauge what you're getting involved in. And I think that you go into it with the expectancy that, it's going to be this way, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then it's going to be reciprocated from this person. And they're like, well, no, because I already told you that I didn't want to be in a relationship. I already told you that this is not what I wanted. And you proceeded to do, and conduct yourself how you wanted to.
Hoping that more was going to happen.
Right. Mm-hmm. Hoping that more was going to happen. And I
thought you was freezing up.
Oh, no. No. Dang, I had wrote it all out, but anyway, I don't know what I did with the rest of it. Oh, I do know what I did. I'm sorry. Right here. My thought is number one, nobody can take no more than what you give them, and nobody is going to give you any more than they want you to have. Number one, you have to learn to guard your heart by actively listening and believing what people say, and ask quality questions. Stop doing so much in a relationship if you are still questioning the status of it.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's what I feel. And I feel like, stop giving yourself to people. Stop putting all this out there. Stop going over, taking his mama to the doctor and taking his mama to the store and taking the grandmama to all of these different places. No, be a girlfriend, and as a girlfriend or as a boyfriend, either one, I feel like don't do things that a person would do in a marriage, because I think that there's girlfriend, boyfriend activity, and then I think that there's marriage activity. And, and then I think that that's how you kind of get your feelings hurt and get caught up in things. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I just, that's how I feel about that. Do I think that he was taking advantage of her? In a way, because I think that, kinda, because obviously if I enjoy sex and you're giving me sex, I'm gonna take it. No, around it.
I mean, especially if he already expressed himself, I'm not interested in a relationship. I think a lot of times, and I mean, I've been guilty in the past before. You think, well, he doesn't know me. I can change their mind, or once they get to know me, they'll see blah blah blah. Dude told you in the beginning, that's not what I'm interested in. So once I tell you that, and you continue or you willingly do X, Y, and Z, that's on you.
Right. And nobody is literally going to say, like, no, I don't want you to, please don't do that. I mean, you will have some guys who were like, no, I don't want you to do that because this is not how I feel. But the average person is not going to turn down you cooking for me, you doing my laundry, you over here and you sharing your body with me. So like, we need to, as women or anybody who may find themselves caught up in that situation, you need to know your worth, and you need to know that you deserve to have a ring if that's what you want. You deserve to be in a committed relationship, and you deserve to be in one that's going to be moving towards marriage if that's what you want, and not 10, 15, 20 years.
Right.
Like, I think, like I said, I think that an engagement, 2 years at best.
Mhm.
2 years in engagement, then you should be getting married. And if not, then it's time for you to move on because it's going to become an ultimatum at that point. And I don't feel like you should be giving in
Okay.
to get married.
Okay.
But anyway, all right. So that was my.
That was your. All right, that was good. That was good. I only have one more. I had one, but I'm going to save it because I don't want to change the tone of the conversation. But Pastor, Pastor John Gray, you remember him?
Yes.
So he's on his third time. Dude is on his third time in his cheating debacle. So he's in his third scandal. This chick, I think it was something that they caught video or something. He was complaining about things his current wife isn't doing, like cooking. I saw the little clip. The kids were in the back seat, whatever. But, he's denying all claims. This is the third incident. So, after the one, I think in 2018, that's when the wife came out and actually supported, whatever. And he gave her the car and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
This is third time. I'm wondering if she's going to stay or if this is going to be it. I want to know when it comes to a person cheating on you, whether it's their first, second, third, or fourth time, when do you draw the line? When is it enough? Is that individual or what? I mean, I think second time, okay. I remember my mom giving me a long lecture. She was just like, nobody's perfect, blah, 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 blah. Everybody should just get a second chance. This is dude's third time doing the same thing. When do you draw the line? Now, I know they're on the forefront and it's supposed to be, a role model relationship, first lady pastor. But when did they draw the line? When do you draw the line?
Well, I think with him, because I think that he already went into it. I mean, just based on that last year, a couple of years ago, when they did that whole, she was on the stage and she was preaching and she was talking about the woman coming in and infiltrating and all that sort of stuff. I think that Pastor Gray has some underlying issues that he has not taken care of himself. And I think that just like when he was saying that, I forgot her name, Aventer. I think that when he was saying she covered him or whatever, I think that she's taking on a role that is not of his wife. I think that she's in a place of almost like his mother in a way, and it's like she keeps pacifying his behavior, all in the name of he had issues when he was growing up.
Yeah, right, exactly.
At some point, you need to take responsibility of your behavior, and when you draw the line at two people or two episodes of cheating, 3 episodes of cheating, I just think that at that point you need to go ahead and get help. We're going to separate or whatever, and then once you get help, once you commit to getting help and actually physically go get help, and go through the meetings and call me with your whole apologies of once you went through the 12 steps and all that. You
wouldn't want to be in the counseling with them?
I don't necessarily know. I think that when I think about counseling and therapy and things like that, I think that sometimes people don't heal the way that they should because it becomes couple counseling. I think that you should do individual counseling. Yep. And then couple counseling. But I think that sometimes people need to heal individually.
Yeah.
Be transparent individually versus being in a couple session, because I don't think that people are as open as they should be when they're in couple therapy.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did. I just finished mine last week, evidently. And next we're going to do our couple. So you're absolutely right. You need to get your own situation straight first before you go.
Right. Okay. So I think that you need to handle your, the things that you have going on and, the insecurity, whatever it is that you have going on. I think that you need to take care of that first.
Exactly.
And then because I think that that'll lead down the path of what can be fixed in the marriage, because maybe individual, maybe some, you were molested or, when you were younger and it was maybe by a woman and whatever
Yeah.
the situation of the case may be, and you just need to work through that first, and then but yeah, I mean, some people will stay. There is no line to be drawn. It's like, okay, I love you. I want you to be here. I want us to be together, and nothing is ever too much. But yeah,
Low self-esteem, low self-worth.
that's
No,
just my,
that's definitely not it.
yeah, no, not at all.
Mhm.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. I enjoyed you, boo. You still look good. I still look faded, but okay.
I enjoyed you too. So we'll be able to pick up right here again where we left off last week, and again this week where we left off with the. We'll have. Make sure you all join us. We will be talking about Cardi B and Meg the Stallion next week. All right, so you want to make sure you tune in. Yes, WAP. You want to make sure you tune into that because I have a great deal to say about WAP. If you haven't listened to it,
You know what? And I think I might have Justin come on to talk about WAP because you know how much he loves to talk about that. Yeah. I think we can have special
send you a video for
yeah.
I'm gonna send you a video so that you can let Justin watch it so that I need to see his expression though on his face.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in too, Ellis.
Yeah.
And thank you, Rosalind. I love your compliment.
Thank you, Rosalind. Thanks everyone for tuning in. So you guys, you need to make sure that we're starting on time at 7. So if you come in late, you've already missed like a good portion of the show. So you definitely want to make sure that you're tuning in on time and that you are catching all of the show. Okay. Yes, I definitely enjoyed you. And our guest was good.
Yeah, Brett Allen. Thank you. Yeah. Make sure you tune into the show.
Yes. And then Reese was good. She helped out with our Monday dish, so that was awesome.
All right. So until next week, everybody, be blessed. Please like and share, and we'll catch you here next week, same time on the chat. Good night, everybody.
Good night.